Good morning. We are on day 3. How have we got halfway through the week already? That is like next level mental. Anyway, good morning. Welcome back to Simon Says. I hope at this point you have, as a bare minimum, gone into your group and talked about all of the good ingredients, all of the good things about Shadow Sense. Step 1. Then I hope that you've taught exactly how to apply your 3-tone eye look. Please, please, please let me know if you're here. I don't know if I can see comments, but I do have my laptop, so hopefully I'll be able to get comments up if they're not showing. So as a bare minimum, if you are being a little bit extra and you're playing my game and you're getting your extra letters, then you will also have done a few things on Instagram, have done a few reels or stories. Today is all about liner. Now, liner is something that I genuinely think people don't get, and that's fine, because it's something that is so unbelievably personalised. It's something that every single person, I'm just seeing if I can get comments up on my laptop because I don't think I can see any, but do say hi if you're here and tell me where you've got to. Have you done tasks 1 and 2? Have you done the bonus challenges of 1 and 2? How far have you got with this challenge? And if you need to do them backwards, like as of if you want to catch up, that's absolutely fine. Let me just make sure I don't have any sounds so it doesn't start shouting at us. My laptop is so slow, sorry everybody. Okay, so today, what I would like you to do, please, is find yourself a neutral trio. So I don't need you to include your garnet or your garnet replacement, but I do want you to have that one handy today. It is very important. But I would like you to find a neutral trio. So for me, I'm going to go with Smoky Taupe because she's coming back and I'm really excited, Candied Cocoa Shimmer and Teardrop Shimmer. That's going to be my neutral selection of colours today. And obviously I'm going to go for Candlelight. So I'm going for a neutral trio. Now, I personally would do this video with my makeup already done. So not all my makeup already done, but my trio already applied. I wouldn't go live and do a really long video today. I can't find my brush. What I'd like you to do is, I'm showing you this so that you can see what I'm doing beforehand, and I'll talk you through my trio again, just in case it helps for anyone who didn't catch yesterday's, or for anyone who wants just a little bit more practice. So I always go in with Candlelight. You absolutely don't need to go in with Candlelight, but I personally have really veiny eyelids, so I use it to just neutralise my eyelid. I am really trying to get some comments up here. Is it working? Who knows? Oh, here we go. Love it. No, Kaylee, go and upload it. That's absolutely fine. Good morning, Sophie. Good morning, Claire. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. Sophie, you've never used it as a liner. Oh, I'm so excited. This is literally like my favourite use of Shadow Sense. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm going to go for these 3 colours. So Smoky Taupe, Candied Cocoa Shimmer and Teardrop Shimmer. I've chosen them because they are neutral. So that's what I want you to think about. They are like soft, not too offensive, not too bright, not too bold. They're just neutral. So I'm going to do exactly what I did yesterday. I always start by looking dead straight. I put a little dash. It doesn't matter if it goes onto my lid, but just a little dash. I grab myself a nice fluffy, clean brush and I just gently blend that into my crease area. I'm holding my brush further back on purpose because I want a really light touch. I don't entirely know what's going on with my brows today. And I'm just setting that tone. So I know that my colour can come all the way up to here. That is the height at which I need it so that it sticks out above my crease, above my hood, whatever you want to call it. So dead straight, just pop a little dot. Do not raise your brows until you've already done that dot. It is the biggest tip that I could possibly ever tell you. And note to self, I am not putting this shadow all over my lid at all. I am only putting it in this like arc. Let's call it an arc. I'm an ex-maths teacher and my brain was like, you have to get the right word here because you can't just randomly call it something that it isn't. So I'm not bringing it down onto my lid. Literally, this medium tone is only going into that little crease area. That's the only place it's going. If you bring it down onto your main lid, You might like close off your eye. You might end up with a lot more colour than you wanted, but it's really, really important that this is actually just setting where your colour's going to go. You might go back in with that and add more to your main lid later on, but for now, this is just setting where that height is going to be, okay? So we're going to start with that. And as I said, this is just for you. This is not what I want you to include your video on. I will tell you when I start talking about the video, but that is my smoky taupe. I then am going to go in with a neutral, darker tone. Right. Nicola, are there extra things on your bonus to do? I must have missed them. Okay, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. I've got too many comments that I need to answer. Bear with. Let's just do this. Sorry, I am coming back to you guys, but I don't want to miss your questions, so bear with one memento, please, while my laptop has an actual meltdown. Okay. So yeah, Kaylee, please go and upload your thing. That's absolutely fine. Nicola, what light do I use? I'll show you my setup in a minute. Can I show you? Wait. I'll show you my setup now because I'll forget. I know what I'm like. I actually have about 100 things going on here. So when I first started, I bought this light here that has a stand in it. I swear by this light. The light itself is annoying, but the stand is exactly the right place for me. Behind that, I have a mirror. So if I need to look into the mirror, I can, but I actually use this one. And then I also have a big one up here that I use all the time, and I stand in front of it for my reels and stuff like that. So yeah, I have a mega setup, but it is quite sincerely my favourite setup, and I am currently needing more light than normal because we're renovating the whole house, and my room that was my beauty room is now in like a kind of corner, so it's really dark. Anyway, that answers that question. Sorry. Suzanne, yes, there are extra things. There's a bonus thing on every single live. So there's 2 things you can do on every single live, just to let you know. And Claire says, denim and turquoise are my favourite use of liners. Yes, Claire, you are a girl after my own heart. I'm so here for it. Kaylee, I ordered some brush cleaner yesterday. I realised I've been doing my makeup much. I've not been doing my makeup much because I have loads of dirty brushes. Oh my God, Kaylee, the dirty brush life, it is a problem. I hear you. It is not good. I do not appreciate having to wash my brushes, but it's something you have to do because if you're trying to use dirty brushes, it's not going to work properly. Anyway, I got totally sidetracked, sorry. But I'm glad you're enjoying the challenge. Okay, cool. I hope that helps, Nicola. Right, I'm going in with a Candid Cocoa Shimmer then. All I'm going to do is a couple of dots of that on the outer corner. This, and I'm using a different brush every single time. She says, looking for more clean brushes. Lol. Every single time I'm using a different brush because I don't want to have the 2 colours together, because what I want to be able to do is once I've put my Candid Cocoa Shimmer in, blend that into my smoky taupe. So I want to be able to go between my brushes. Now note, I know that I can come up to this point here because I've already done my smoky taupe. So I can literally go right up to where I need to go if I want to, and I can just press it and blend it gently into that outer corner. Now, I am not coming down further than where my lower lash line diagonally meets up to my eyebrow. I am blending it inwards. We talked about this yesterday, so I'm flying through. But note to self, the darker colour is staying high enough as to where I put the height before, but also coming down into that main lid, okay? So I'm not going for any mental colour today. I'm just going for a little bit of something. But I want to keep the colours neutral today because we're focusing on liner. I'd love to know, while I'm faffing, what is your position with liner? How do you feel about it? Do you do it? If you do it, what do you use? Tell me all of your liner chat in the comments, please. Whoever you are, go, go, go. I like to start with a little bit and then just add gently, depending on how much I need. So I always press and I'll sweep in a minute. So I press first, and then normally I'll go back to my other brush and I'll just gently sweep those 2 things together. So if I want that crease to have a nice gentle sweep, that's what I'll do. Suzanne uses Onyx with an angled brush. Claire's already said she loves eyeliner. Fab. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to do that. And then, oh, Teardrop Shimmer, my actual favourite, like literally my favourite at the moment. I can't stop using her. I am an addict. It is a problem. I'm just thinking about the setup situation. The more light you can have, the better. And I know it's really hard this time of year, but if you can stand in front of a window, it's like genuinely the best thing that you could ever do for your business, because if you're doing your makeup in the dark or it's not showing up very well, then it's not going to actually sell, because, well, you might be able to sell, that's a massive assumption, but you are giving yourself a bigger chance to be able to sell if you are using something that shows what you're actually putting on. You need to be able to, like, literally, if you are making a business out of this business, then you need to invest in some good equipment to be able to show off what you are using. Otherwise, people won't be able to see what you're doing properly, and it doesn't capture attention. So just think about that if you're doing it as a business. All I'm doing now is just going between my brushes to make sure that all of my edges are nice and blended, like so. Okay, cool. So at this point, I would start my video. I've already got my shadows on. You might talk about the shadows. Sorry, didn't do it much since the pen launched. I've taught myself, and Laura's helping now do it with the pencil too. Cool. Claire's done it since she was young, fair enough. And Claire's just got a new light, very, very good. I approve. And yeah, okay, cool, fine, Nicola, then you are probably going to be on the same wavelength as me today. So I love the pen. I truly love the pen. I really like liner. It's one of my favourite things. It's something that I think I'm probably more known for. And I really like the fact that Shadow Sense can be used as liner, because I think it's actually easier. So if you are somebody who gets liner, you are lucky, but I'm telling you that you are not in the masses. More people don't know how to do liner than people do know how to do liner. So it's great if you know how to do liner, but you need to learn how to explain it for people who don't know how to do liner if you're going to sell things to the people who don't understand how to do liner. Does that make sense? So I would talk about Shadow Sense probably before anything else, unless people have very, very, very hooded eyes or very small eyes, and then I would talk about only tight lining under here to begin with a pencil, okay? So I'm talking to the people who don't have teeny, 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 tiny eyes, who aren't totally afraid of all liner ever. I'm talking to the people who are up for playing a little bit with liner, maybe already use a pencil consistently, maybe already use, I don't know, some other type of liner. I'm just going to take a drink, otherwise I can't breathe. So I would argue that hooded eyes, people often come to me, sorry, two sentences. People often come to me and they say something like, I really want the perfect flick. And if you've got really hooded eyes, a perfect flick in the kind of general sense of a perfect flick is difficult to manage, because you'll go up here, you'll go over here, then you'll pull this out, and then it'll squidge itself back up. And it doesn't work in the way that all of the videos will tell you. But that does not mean that if you have hooded eyes, you can't use liner. And I want to stress this so very much. So I'm going to get an angled brush and I'm going to pick up my garnet. Remember, we are doing every single day with one colour. So first day, we were talking about why Shadow Sense in general is wonderful. We were swatching this colour. Then the second day, we use this as an outer corner. Today, I am showing you how this colour is amazing for lining. So we're going to get our angled brush. Now, if you are somebody who struggles with liner, I am talking to you, or you are talking to your customers if they are somebody who struggles with liner. I want you to get an angled brush. I want you to have the top end in the inner corner, and I want you to look dead straight into your mirror camera. For us, it's a camera. For them, it's a mirror. And I want you to look dead straight. Now, I am not going to draw my line from my lower lash line up, because that for me is going to be too low. And this is something else to think about. if you have got downturned eyes, if you have got really hooded eyes, then drawing your line exactly where that lower lash line upwards is might be the wrong place. You absolutely can use tape. Yeah, cool. So in that lower lash line, I want you to think about where your eye is. So for me, my hood starts a little bit above where this line now is. So I'm going to draw that line outwards just below where my hood is, okay? And then I'm going to bring it, I'm flipping my brush, and I'm just going to gently bring that back in like so. So you can do a liner if you want to, and obviously I would also have all the way along here like so. If I want to, I can have a liner and I can just neaten up that edge a little bit out. That for me is below my hood. That is one way of doing liner, okay? The other way of doing liner that I really appreciate, if I can find my brush, she says, I quite like using a brush that's a little bit like this. Again, I'll stock the brush with a bit of my Shadow Sense. I'll put it back so it doesn't totally dry out. And I'll do exactly the same thing, but this time I'm going to do it higher. So rather than going down to that lower corner, I'm going to start a little bit higher and I'm going to go straight over my hood, okay? So this diagonal line, I can just straighten it up. It goes straight over my hood. So when I look dead straight, it's actually halfway up that line. And I can bring that down a little bit if I want to, but I can also add it on to the rest of my eye, like so. Can you see that that's loads higher than this one? So I want you to experiment. I want you to play around, and you might find that one of them works really well for your eyes and one of them doesn't. You might find that if you can achieve it with tape though, you absolutely can achieve it without tape. The good thing about Shadow Sense, and I want you to talk about this, the good thing about Shadow Sense is you can blend it out. So if you start to do this and you go, actually, that isn't for me, then you can just soften it. So I've just picked up a random pointy brush that's actually dirty, don't at me. And you can just soften that to get a slightly smoked out liner. So it's not as intense, it's not as hard, but you get a nice little soft amount of liner. On this side, I've kept it a lot more in general. I used a bigger brush. It's going to give me a bigger effect. Obviously, if I want to add to that, I can. If I want to smoke that out, I absolutely can. But the rule is, do not mess with it all of the time. Don't keep playing with it. Once you've done it, go in. But look at this. For me, it's below my hood, right? So it's under my hood, so it doesn't fold with my hood. Here, it's over my hood. Can you see that? But I drew it looking dead straight. I drew it with a totally relaxed face so that I know that it's going to go over that hood and it's not going to squidge up. Am I making any sense? Is this helpful? But I want you to try and help guide your customers through how to apply their liner. So give them all of the options. Tell them that if they want to take up less space on their lid because maybe they don't have a very hooded, no, they have a hooded eye or they don't have much space on their lid, then ask them to try using tight lining with a pencil. If they have got space on their lid, maybe just give them a teeny tiny little flick. Doesn't need to be loads. You could, if you want to, I'm going to just totally mess up my eye now, just have a little bit going out just underneath, just a little bit from that lower lash line, extend a teeny tiny little flick and then bring that flick back in. That could be enough for a hooded eye. You don't need a full blown massive bit of liner if your eyes aren't suited to them. It's just going to look odd. So think about what type of eye shape they have. If they have really downturned eyes, if their eyes go down in the outer corner, this trick of starting higher up is a really good idea. If they've got particularly hooded eyes, going under the hood, if they can, is a good idea. But you need to play around with the size, the shape of the eyes that you are actually dealing with. Does that make any sense? So that today is going to be your main live challenge. I want you to go live and I want you to talk about different options, how you can use your eye shape, different ways of starting, different methods of applying, and talk about why Shadow Sense is good. Shadow Sense is good for using as a liner because it doesn't budge, because you can kind of smudge it out, so it's a lot more forgiving, and not using a black can often actually look a lot more classy. It can be a lot softer a look. I'm just finishing my eyes so you can see how it actually finishes for you. So that's what I want you to do in your main live. If you are on the extra challenges, if you are somebody who is doing the extra challenges, I would like you to create a reel or a story, just one. I don't want it to be a long talking one. I want it to be a shorter, just showing 2 different ways of doing it. If you've already done it, you could go into your stories and be like, what do you prefer? This one or this one? Just that. If you wanted to educate a little bit, then you could talk about why using a brown, because remember, we are trying to talk about our garnet all week, because the more you talk about one product in all the different ways, the more you are showing your customers that they could use their one product in all the different ways. So go live, go onto your stories or create a reel and talk about the benefits of using a brown as opposed to a black for your liner, okay? So your main challenge, your main live is to talk about all the different things about liner, why Shadow Sense is good, and obviously we are prioritizing talking about our one Shadow Sense, garnet, over and over again. So today we're going to talk about why garnet, why brown over black, why Shadow Sense over anything else, why is it a good idea? Because you can use it on your outer corner and you can use it as liner. Win-win, okay? Then your extra, if you want the extra, if you're playing my letters game, then go into your stories or go onto a reel and talk about the difference between either one eye and another eye, and maybe use your caption to say something like, which do you prefer? And I'll show you how to do them, right or left, or brown or black, or something else, okay? Does that make sense? Any questions before I disappear? Let me know. Any questions? I'm going to go with no. You could also go live and talk about tape if you want. I think Shadow Sense and tape works really well. So if you are somebody who uses tape, that is absolutely fine. I'm going to stop. I think I'm stopping. Good. Okay. Any questions? You know where I am. Drop me a message if you need to. Otherwise, good luck. I'm so excited. Looking forward to seeing all of your beautiful little screenshots. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8. Lots of love. Have a great day.